What's going on, guys? We just finished up stop number 4 of the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals on Lake Eufaula. Decent week for me. I've been here before. This is the first tournament of the trail that I've actually been to before, or first lake, I should say. I came here 2 years ago in April and had a decent tournament. You know, I understand how the lake sets up. I had a bunch of brush piles marked. I came here and pre-practiced back in February for 4 days. Just idled for 4 days straight, never made really a cast. And I had over, I think between Alec and myself, we have like over 1,500 brush piles marked, which is way more than you could ever fish. So what I kind of did in practice was sampled basically a 20-mile section of the lake, tried to figure out, you know, which area seemed like it was fishing good. And honestly, the majority of the lake was fishing pretty decent. So I didn't really have it narrowed down much. I just tried to run as much as I could in a single day's time. This week was pretty crazy. I've never seen anything like it. There was fish on ledges, massive schools, 100 plus bass, 200 plus bass, offshore in like 20 feet of water, you know, on the edge of the main channel. And that's how the tournament ended up being won. And then you could fish shallow in grass and catch them just about as good as you could offshore. And then there was actually fish spawning on a lot of stumps and just offshore. You know, focusing on the spawning fish, it was like 4 to 10 feet of water. The water temp was 84 degrees, so I was definitely not expecting to see any spawning fish, but they were there, and we caught a couple of them during the tournament, which helped us out. But I used really 4 baits to catch them this week. This is a big 6 cents crankbait. It's called the C20 Cloud Series. I'm not sure the color on it, but anyway, I had a little ledge place. I actually had a few little places, but there was only one of them that actually produced any fish for me in the tournament. Mega school that my buddy found and let me get on it in the morning with him, and I only caught 1 keeper off it. 2.5 pounder, but it was on this big crankbait. I caught some fish swimming in Jacob Shallow in the grass. This is the Beast Coast Gorilla Swim Jig in the color white. I had a Strike King Menace on the back of it. It's one of my staple shallow water grass baits. I just absolutely love throwing this thing. Majority of my damage this week though was done on these 2 rods here. Mega Bass Arachi, Whip Snake, both rods, along with a Daiwa Certate spinning reel. And we had a minnow style bait on a 3/16 ounce jig head. I was throwing that through brush, over the top of brush and stuff like that. And then this other rod here had a Zoom Finesse Worm rigged Nico in the color Red Bug. It is it's a really good bait going in and out of brush, and Red Bug's just a great color down on these lakes. West Point and Eufaula are actually attached to the same river. So this is the bait I use to catch a lot of my fish in the brush at West Point. So I had it tied right back on, and it produced a bunch of keepers for me this week as well. And so yeah, good event. Next up, we go to Lake Champlain for this trail, which is obviously my home lake in, I believe it's like 2nd week of June. But before we go back home for that, we're going to be fishing a Toyota Series tournament as well as a couple of BFL tournaments down here.